Welcome to NetWitness 12.4 New Features Training. In this video, we will discuss Part 2 of OS migration. Within this video, we will explain the back-end process of the flowchart diagram and presentation explained in Part 1. So let's dive right into the upgrade process. As this upgrade process takes around 40 minutes to an hour for the admin server, and around 30 to 35 minutes for any Node X machine. This is a pre-recorded upgrade, and we'll run you through those videos to help you understand what happens during the upgrade. Let's get started. As with any other upgrade process, first, log into the admin server, or the SAUI, and head over to the hosts page. Inside the host page, we can check for updates option, then select the admin server host here, and proceed to check for updates. If the system is connected to live, it will show all the available updates. We hit select version, then select version 12.4. And you would then be redirected to go through the release notes and what are the change log for this particular version. Once we've gone through this particular change log, we can proceed to begin the upgrade. We can hit Begin Update here. And this will start the update process for the admin server. And this is the SMC upgrade, or the upgrade through UI. Once the upgrade is started, there are two specific log files that we will need to monitor. The first log file is etc salt minion logs on the admin server. Once we see the configuring update packages, this is the stage where the actual zip files are being downloaded from the live server, and this will be configuring this in the back end. So once that is complete, it would start the upgrade process, and the first stage of upgrades is through the salt minion. You can see here, it is searching for deployment upgrade packages and installing the deployment upgrade package. So all the required version 12.4 packages that get installed as part of the original init process would be happening at this stage. Once that is complete, it will trigger the upgrade for the admin server. The upgrade, or the OS migration from CentOS 7 to Alma Linux, happens through the liap migrator, as explained in Part 1 video. If you observe the log files here, it installs the DNF, installing liap package and the other dependencies, liap data Alma Linux package. And it starts configuring that package. The first stage is to configure, second is to retrieve, the liap config for version 12.4. The third would be to start running the pre-upgrade process for liap. And the fourth step would run the liap upgrade. So that is what would be happening right now. In the back end, when the upgrade is triggered, it would be running the liap upgrade. As mentioned previously, what exactly happens in the layout upgrade process is that it boots the new kernel, the Alma Linux 8 kernel, and this kernel would then upgrade all the dependencies, all the packages of CentOS 7 to Alma 8. The status on the UI will continue to show us configuring update packages. While this is happening in the back end, we head further forward. At some point in the upgrade process, you would observe that the salt minion is shut down. At this point, it would actually start upgrading the salt package. You see this stage, it shows the salt minion is shutting down, and it goes into a reboot. So this is the actual point of the upgrade process, where the base kernel is being detached. The CentOS 7 kernel is being detached from the server, and it will be attempting to boot to the new Alma Linux 8 kernel. Hence, this reboot is inevitable, and you would lose connection to the UI for a brief period. It would take for this particular kernel boot to happen 10 to 15 minutes. Once we boot into the new kernel, we will be able to log back into the SSH session, and the UI as well. The new kernel is booted in. Without any problems, we have successfully migrated from CentOS 7 to Alma Linux 8. Which means the base OS upgrade is complete. And now it proceeds to stage 2 of this upgrade process, where the NetWitness packages are upgraded from NetWitness version 12.2 or 12.3 to NetWitness version 12.4. This is taken care of by the chef. This upgrade process of NetWitness versions remains pretty much the same as any of the previous upgrades, including the process of the RPMs, upgrading the packages. Upgrading from CentOS 7 to Alma 8 would not change. Here, you can see that the chef is going through all the packages on the right. It completes the NW upgrade for each one of those NetWitness packages. And towards the end of this process, you would be able to see that the chef has completed its run successfully. And it would proceed to ask for a host reboot. While chef is executing, the chef is running in the back end, upgrading the NetWitness packages. The status on the UI would change from configuring update packages to update in progress to in queue for update. Once we cycle through all of these 3 stages, we will see that the upgrade goes through successfully, and it would suggest a reboot. As we can see here in this screen, the version that was previously 12.2 has now been updated to 12.4, and a reboot of the admin is required, as is the case with any of the previous upgrade processes. This is how the admin server upgrade happens. When it comes to a Node X upgrade, through the UI, the process remains the same as before. We would select the host that we want to upgrade, and proceed to select the host version, which is already pre-selected at this point as 12.4. As the admin is version 12.4, it would show us the update notes again, and then select Begin Upgrade. Now the status for all of the Node X. As the admin server is completely migrated from CentOS 7 to Alma 8. The state now shows performing OS migration on the UI, and when we proceed to look at the salt log, we can see that the process again in the back end remains the same. It installs the liap packages and their respective dependencies, configures liap, and then shuts down salt to upgrade salt from 3004 to 3006. Once the salt upgrade is complete, proceed to boot the Alma 8 kernel. We can see here it is running a liap upgrade, and at this point, the salt shuts down and the system goes into a reboot. This reboot is an inevitable step. The reboot would happen, but it would also complete booting up into the new kernel, and it would come back up again successfully. Liap is also configured to have a failsafe scenario, so if the OS migration does not go through successfully, it will retry until it hits a success status. This would not cause an endless loop of any sort, and there is no reason to worry about this reboot happening. At this stage, the SSH of the host is going through a status of performing OS migration, changes to update in progress. This is the point of the upgrade process, where the OS migration, the base OS migration has been completed, and now it is proceeding to phase 2 of updating the NetWitness packages. At this point, Chef takes over, and it would run through the regular upgrade process of updating all of the NetWitness RPMs, as well as the respective dependencies from the previous version to 12.4. Once all the packages are updated successfully, the update in progress status moves to in queue for updates, which would then proceed to suggest a reboot. After a successful completion of triggers, we can see that ESA primary is now going to proceed to ask for a reboot. And once the reboot is completed, the NetWitness version is well shows 12.4 without problems. As far as a CLI upgrade is concerned from the SSH, the upgrade process happens from the admin server. So we would type in the command that you can see on the screen: upgrade CLI client-u version is 12.4. And we would specify the host key that we are trying to upgrade. In this case, I'm choosing to upgrade the archiver for this demo. Once we trigger this upgrade, eventually what happens in the backend continues to remain the same. We look at the salt minion logs, where it would start by installing all of the liap packages and their respective dependencies, proceed to do a base OS upgrade, followed by the NetWitness packages upgrade. Here, you can see that it is running the liap pre-upgrade stage, followed by which it will proceed to run the liap upgrade. This is the stage that you could also observe on the right side of the admin server. Along with the polling logs, you will see a message that says the host will automatically reboot while performing OS migration. As I've already mentioned previously, for the other nodes the reboot is happening, as it is disconnecting the old CentOS 7 kernel and booting up into the new Alma 8 kernel. Once this reboot completes, the base OS would be migrated successfully, which would then proceed to perform a NetWitness upgrade from the previous version to 12.4. Here, we can see that the salt minion shuts down. At this point, salt minion's upgrading from 3004 to 3006, and once salt minion comes back up, we should be able to see the status reflecting on the UI as well. The same status also reflects on the UI. It says update in progress, and will proceed to sync the status of the backend upgrade process on the UI. Now the automatic reboot is complete. And we can see that there's a message preparing host for the upgrade to 12.4 completed successfully. At this point, we can observe that the messages for reboot have now stopped. The reboot is now completed, and the chef takes over to proceed NetWitness upgrade from the base OS to 12.4. Here, we can see that the upgrade has been completed successfully. So even in terms of a CLI upgrade for the admin server, in case of air-gap customers, the process remains the same. The additional step that would be required for these customers is to download 12.4 package and prepare that unzip package into the temp upgrade folder and perform an init as we used to do before this. That would be an upgrade CLI client init with the target version and the host key. Once the init process is complete, it will install all the required RPMs to trigger the 12.4 upgrades, and the upgrade command for the admin server will also remain the same. Upgrade CLI client-u version here, the target version being 12.4.0.0, and the host key being the host key of the admin server itself. Hoping this video gives enough insight into the upgrade process for Alma. Thank you.